Have you watched the Parents Test like I told you to?
Not yet, man. Not yet. I had it on, but I fell asleep on it. I ain't even gonna lie.
Laws is probably upset because every time I talk about this, I've already talked about this once today. For those who are listening, if you're out there, especially, look, whether you got a good relationship with the mother of your child or a horrible one, I think you should send this to her. And, for all my married folks, definitely watch it together. The idea of the show is they put 12 parents to the test. Each parent gets like 4 different tests. They do them in groups, so it's 3 groups for a piece, right? And they give each parent 3 to 4 tests, and at the end, they're gonna crown one parenting style the best parenting style.
Oh man,
right?
is it like have all the series played already? Or episodes played already?
It's like on episode 10, so it's good. You know what I'm saying? They've went through each round, right?
Yeah. Which one do you relate to? Like which parenting style?
Which is what I want to talk about. So me and my wife, I asked her, I said, which one you like? So she asked me, she was like, well, you tell me first. And I said, nah. And she goes, well, I like the single mom on here. And I said, damn. She said, why? She said, you like the single dad on there, don't you? I said, hell yeah. And it's funny to get there. And which made me think about it. I'm like, yo, we married. And we didn't like none of the parenting styles of the married folks.
Well, because I think you know what I'm saying, you see yourself, and then obviously you want to be like, well, you don't want to think your parenting style is worse. Mm-hmm. Then you also don't want to see that your parenting style is better. So you're gonna individualize it. So I think it's kind of fair.
The single mom, her parenting style was discipline.
Of course.
Yeah, and the thing about her style was she's not raising her child.
Who's raising her child?
No, she doesn't have any. This is her brother. This is his child, but he passed a drug addiction, and she got her niece out of foster care as a toddler, and she's been raising her ever since. And her niece is 13. Yeah. And she said, I'm raising her by myself, so I have to discipline is the way I lead my household, right? The guy, he's a gay black man. And he got his kid through IVF, right? And so the interesting thing about him was he's a high achievement parent.
Yeah.
So his goal is like his son speaks 4 languages, bro. And he's like 8.
But okay, so here's the thing, like IVF is like $50K, right? I don't know, and I don't know how much it is for a man, right? So it could be even more.
Bro,
right?
His house, he said something that I think you would love. That's why I want you to watch it. He said, I was buying my home. He said, I got the home because it's just me and my son. He's 8. It's cool. He said, we passed by a house that had a for sale sign. He said, my son goes, that's where all the white people must live because I've only seen white people live in this house.
Yeah.
And he said, I turned around and went and bought that house.
Yeah.
He said, and the other brother who was in there started crying. And he said, as a kid, I knew what was for white folks.
Yeah.
And I knew what was for us.
I'm about to check it out.
And yeah, and it's super cool. But it made me think. I was like, but let me tell you what made me realize. Shout out to all the single moms or just the moms who are listening. I think I figured it out about y'all. Uh-oh. Y'all like being in control.
Oh, duh.
That's why I think me and my wife both like the single parents thing. They have ultimate control in their house.
Yeah.
Now, I think it gets dangerous because it gets to are you willing to sacrifice help and assistance for control? And I think a lot of times, because we see it a lot, you scroll on Instagram, you scroll on Twitter, you scroll especially on Facebook. Boy, y'all be hurt on Facebook. And you see a lot of, I can't wait to have my kid by myself. I can't wait. It's a lot of, I can't wait to join single parenthood.
Who? People saying that?
Yeah, they saying it. If you want, Lord, I can start tagging you.
Please don't.
And then it gets to this point of, yo, it's because I have control. It's because I have this thing of, yo, I can run my home. And that was the beauty of both of these 2 single parents. But you know what the other real part of it was? Both of them said, it's just me.
And that was going to be part 2 of what I was saying. What I was going to ask is, when it comes to control, like how much of control is fear? Right. Like I'm afraid of letting somebody else come in here because I've been let down so many times. Right.
Yeah.
Which means that's baggage. So, if you feel that way, then don't ruin somebody else's life. Like, honestly, do what these 2 did. Right. Adopt or IVF.
Yeah.
The problem is that a lot of us are single parents, and we did it the old-fashioned, natural way.
Ow.
And we have these, we have these connections to the children, but we also got, a bond to a person that we may or may not like anymore.
Yeah.
And that becomes problematic. That becomes exhausting.
Absolutely. Yo, I want to welcome everybody to episode 3 of season 5 of the Black Dads Club. Let me tell you the dedication of my right-hand man right here, my brother, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Because we got something special coming. We're going to do some business updates for the pod right after this. But Mike hit me up and said, yo, do you want to get them twice in 1 week? And I say, might as well.
Hey man, because we got to get more on track. Like, I mean, our listeners going up. Appreciate it. Everybody that's following us. Please share this. It is growing because of you guys.
Absolutely.
It's not growing because of us. It's not growing because of the name. It's growing because you guys are sharing this with individuals. So thank you, and please continue to do so we can get this platform higher and higher.
Absolutely.
So we can have these real conversations that black men really, really need to have.
That we can't have no more at the barbershop because we lost it.
We don't have the barbershop.
We don't have clothing stores
We don't have the church.
Oh, my.
All we have right now. All we have.
Niggas lost the church a long time ago. And then y'all giving these pastors new names. I respect it, though. I saw something, it was like apostle, evangelicals, like they gave him extra names. They combining names. And it was cool at first when y'all was doing like, yo, this person's a prophet, even though I don't think y'all know what that means.
No, they don't. Which
is cool, whatever. Then it went to like, when y'all start throwing apostle on stuff, I was like, yo, y'all just reaching for names.
Well, I mean, because everybody don't want to be, a preacher or elder. I mean, you got so many 28-year-old bishops now that ain't holding no weight anymore.
Do you think it's because nobody don't want the responsibility, or do you think they even know the responsibility of like a pastor?
I don't believe they know the responsibility. I think people do it because it pays well and it offers influence.
Yeah, and it look good on the club flyer that y'all be using. I know there's that club flyer y'all be using for y'all.
I know y'all listening right now saying, "Isn't your name Pastor Mike Will?" Like, yo, it is a moniker. Like, I do that to make fun, actually.
Shout out to everybody that hits me up and asks me if Mike is really a pastor. And one day I'm gonna just start lying on here. I've already started lying on this podcast, but one day I'm gonna start lying on this podcast because I know when they figure out that we got the cussing pastor on here, like that other dude, they gonna
take off.
With that, yo, we will be recording again in a few days. And it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have people that's gonna come in and sit in and join us. Be ready for that. We might go live that day.
We probably are gonna go live, man. Look, we're figuring this thing out. By the summertime, we're going to be up and rolling.
Absolutely. So check us out Sunday, 1 o'clock. Look, it's only but so many pre-game Super Bowl shows you can watch, right? The game don't start today evening. Come in. Let's rock out. So that's some news. Make sure you follow us on Spotify, Apple, whatever. You know where we at. Shout out to all the men that's listening to this in the car with their wife, their girlfriend, their side chick. Valentine's Day is coming up soon. Be ready, fellas. You're not getting shit, but you can give a lot.
You are not getting anything at all.
Absolutely. And Side Chicks Day, I think it's the 15th.
Or the
13th. Which I would have to pick the 15th. If it was me, if I had one.
Yeah.
I can't see
you got to see your wife first.
Yeah.
Then shower, then see your side chick.
Absolutely. That happened on BMF this week, which was amazing.
Oh, I got to check it out.
Yeah, it was amazing. And nothing's worse than when you like watching stuff with your wife and you telling her like what's about to happen. Because as a man, it's like, yo, this dude having sex with some rando, he's married, you know what I'm saying? No protection,
Come on, bro.
And you already know it's against the wall. It was quick. I was like, oh, this about to be over. And I said, watch, he about to go home. His wife, they got to do it. He got to do it. You got to go double time.
Man.
And at that age, you definitely shooting blanks the second go around.
Oh, you struggling.
Yeah, it's hard out here. All right, where you want to start at? You want to start with your Super Bowl pick? Your 49ers are in it.
No, we're down to our 4th-string quarterback. I ain't really mad.
What happened, Mike?
I mean, the dude, his elbow popped, bro. We couldn't throw the ball. Like, that was over. The fact that the Eagles really didn't have any great offensive stats just kind of shows you how bad we stunk it up, like short fields. So, I mean, we'll be fine. I'm pulling for the Eagles, man. I'm not a Pat Mahomes fan.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not. Like, he's a great quarterback. I mean, I like to watch him play. I'm not saying that he's not a good quarterback, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Should I turn this podcast up?
I'm not a fan of,
Is it because he biracial?
I'm not a fan of his brother. Not a fan of his wife. You're really a fan of some of the antics. So that's all I'm gonna say.
What's up with black people? I don't like the fact that black people are out here saying Patrick Mahomes is not black. I think that's unfair. I think it's disrespectful. And I think we pick and choose when we want to count black people, biracial people black.
No. I'm gonna defend blacks there. I think biracial people pick when black people decide they're going to be black or not.
I mean, well, the unique part about them is they 50-50, so they can go either way.
Yeah.
And that's it goes to the same adage of white skin or Hispanics that can white pass, right?
Yes.
But that's that. Drake and J. Cole is black, especially J. Cole. He's black.
Yeah. These are black individuals. Like Pat Mahomes, I don't know.
Well, I look at it like this. When we want to, we're going to use Pat Mahomes and say, oh, a black quarterback won a Super Bowl. We've been running shit.
Yeah, but even when they said that, it was like, the first quarterback of two black quarterbacks. I looked sideways. I ain't going to lie. I was like,
I looked at it. I was like, yo, we going to take it. Because you know why? When they start naming out the greatest people ever to do stuff, and we going to need all the black people that we can pull from, we start pulling. We pick and choose when we want to choose the biracials.
Look. Obviously, we can always make that argument, but for the most part, if history decide they want to grab somebody from you, like a Beethoven or like a Queen Charlotte, what was the pharaoh Cleopatra, like when if they decide they want to take it from you, it's gone anyway, right? Like we don't think of any of those individuals as being black, and historically, chances are all those individuals are black.
Yeah, we don't.
So,
shout out to whitewashing.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, to really claim someone that's biracial, they do have to really identify as being black.
What? This is random. This is not even on the board. And if you got to think about it, let me know. What was something in school for you? Because you went to school way before me. That was like super whitewashed. That, like
the whole civil rights movement, like
really?
the names that we were taught to like revere during the civil rights movement. Versus all the individuals that was left out. I will tell you something that I'll never forget. So when I was in high school, I did know of Marcus Garvey. Like the three vanguards of black nationalism would be Dr. King, Marcus Garvey, and Malcolm X, right? Like those would be like the top three names. So we studied Dr. King, Malcolm X. It wasn't as much, but they talked about it. I literally remember there was a paragraph about Marcus Garvey in my history book. I literally remember that, a paragraph.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't learn about Marcus Garvey till I got to college because they definitely didn't teach that.
Yeah, so and you came, 10 years behind me, and I would never forget that. So that was something that was probably like my first cue that I might not be told everything that I need to be told.
Yeah. For me, the thing that was like clearly there's some whitewashing going on is like the Native story.
Oh man.
Because it changed like every year. Every time you got like a new edition of a book, you was like, it's like, this is different from last year.
Trail of Tears became the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
It's like, it don't really sound that bad. I don't know why they're so upset.
Bro, yeah, man. And then I love.
But that's what they doing with our history now, right?
Yeah.
Like they're watching it to a point to whereas it seems like, like black people just, they just hop on a Pan Am flight back in 1980.
Yeah.
Swung to the States. It was like, nah, that's not really how we got here, bro.
Absolutely. You going for the Eagles. I kind of want the Eagles to win as well. I think the Eagles winning, it'll make Jalen Hurts' story that much better.
Yeah.
From, Alabama to leaving to like this. Like I'm just rooting for them. And I kind of like Philly, man. Like they just ratchet.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Philly, but I'm not really a fan of most days up north. But I'm probably pulling for Philly today. Next Sunday. Excuse me.
Yeah, on Sunday. Before we get to this main topic, this is gonna be a short one for y'all because y'all getting OT this week.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Beyonce. And the reason why is like
Beyonce taxing
$24 million, bro, for an hour.
I love it.
Bro, Beyonce.
You can get it. Go get it.
Look, when you can like, this is what it costs. And you know what? And I hate to sound like this. And please, y'all don't take this out of context. Tell your wife it's okay. For somebody that don't say shit and just get what she want, bro, it's just beautiful, bro. Like, she don't be in no mess. Her sister was straight up swinging on her husband. And, whether I agree with it or not, whether I like it or not. She sat her pretty ass in the corner of that elevator and watched. Like,
Beyonce is not gonna mess up the bag, bro.
She not messing up nothing.
She's not gonna mess up the bag.
And she just seems so graceful, bruh. Like, but anyway, congratulations on her. You the most decorated. Congratulations to my good friend, my brother, my homie, Kendrick Lamar, for winning another rap album of the year. Hold on. That's for Mike.
Hey man, all I say is that I'm not a fan. That's all.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar once again, showing Mike that coleslaw is good sometimes if he missed a coleslaw. Now, to me, I felt like Future should have won that award. I was hoping that Pusha T would get it, but when Kendrick dropped that album, and I like to hear, it's a phrase they like to say, is some people create albums that are Grammy friendly.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Kendrick winning those awards remind me of the Eminem conversation. Where he was just like, after he went to the Grammys, he was like, this is BS. I'm never coming back again. Mm-hmm. Because he was like, the industry has already decided who gets the Grammy. Yeah. Right? So, like, when you look at the artist, it's not going to go to Future, right?
Nah.
It's going to go to Kendrick, right? Kendrick. Yeah. And that's why I always, anytime an artist come out of, like, a major market, I do listen to it way more objectively than I would if someone came out of New Orleans. Because I feel like, if you make it out of New Orleans or if you make it out of Wichita or something, you make it out of Charlotte, I'm like, all right, you probably have talent. You probably really, really put in the work. Whereas in a major market, sometimes I don't know, it's like, you just might have 50,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah, but, I mean, Kendrick's talented.
Or 500,000, sorry, it's 2023.
But Kendrick mad talented.
Kendrick is talented. I'm not saying that he's not talented. I'm just saying, like, was that album better than Future's album? This might have been Future's best album.
Yeah, it definitely like the last three. But yeah, it was definitely like Future had it. Pusha T, I'm sorry, bro. Like, how do I say this a nice way? I knew Pusha T was not going to get the nod because Kanye produced half of your album. It was a Kanye versus Pharrell album. And when Kanye did what he did, bro, it was a rap. Sorry. Nobody. Steven Victor should have probably pulled Push to the side. And I think Push knew because Push started doing the, I'm leaving good music. I'm going to let my brother do what he got to do and figure out life. But yeah, I already knew what that was. All right. Let's, I spent last night. My wife hates when I get into bed and I start texting. And I get under the covers, right? And then she's like, yo, who are you texting? It's like, yo, I'm arguing with somebody. And she knows it. She knows I'm either arguing on Reddit or I'm arguing on Facebook. I'm a part of this Facebook group called First Take Reloaded. If you love sports, join it. But if you love to it ain't really this is like barbershop talk sports. So don't come in here thinking you about to hear the most intelligent sports takes.
Yeah.
But it's fun, right? As of recently, it's a lot of porn on Facebook. Like, girls are starting to put porn as their stories. Like
on Facebook?
Yeah, bro. Like, they wilding. Like, I'm straight up. I'll tag you in some next time.
Yeah. Tag me in that.
Yeah, it's podcast going off the rails.
Yeah, don't tag me in the other shit.
Yeah.
But tag me in that.
Yeah, like, they lit. And I'm in First Take Reloaded, and they're having a discussion of John Morant. And the discussion is going to get to is what I want to follow up with this question of, are we thugs? And honestly, and I kind of want to have that conversation of, do we want to be thugs? Like, what is black people? What is black men? What is society's obsession with the association between black people, black men, and thuggetry? Let's do it like that. Before we get there, so John Morant has been we love John Morant. He's from where?
Sumter, South Carolina.
Sumter is
known for Shaw Air Force Base.
And it's right outside of Columbia. Yeah. It's a small town. How many people you think in Sumter?
Probably 75,000.
Okay, cool.
It's probably like a Rock Hill of that part of the state.
And so John Morant is from there. He went to Murray State, a small school at that. That's in Kentucky. And I think the love about Ja is he has a connection to the people. Something that we don't necessarily see from too many
it's a good story, right? Like, it's that, I mean, it's similar to, like,
I'm trying to think of somebody else who kind of like that.
well, I mean, even Jalen Hurts, right? Like, this ideal of, you having to overcome and then achieve and then reach at the highest level. I think we see that with Ja Morant because,
Oh yeah.
he went to Murray State, balled out, showed up against the big teams, got drafted,
Number
very, very
2.
high, and he's lived up to that level.
He's exceeded that draft class was supposed to be Zion and everybody else.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how many people are going to say that Zion Williams is better than
Ja Morant right now. Yeah, like not many people are going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But Ja Morant, so Ja Morant is from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Right? So South Carolina has a reputation of just like guys that come there.
Y'all got the underdog thing.
We're more real than anybody else, right?
Okay.
But Ja Morant, college educated, family, college educated himself, dad in his life. He's trying too hard.
His dad is over in his life.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that might be part of the problem, right? So we oftentimes come on here and say that the effect that we have on our children's lives when we doing positive things, I think we also have to realize that, as fathers, right? Like if you're in your 40s and 50s and you still want to be a real nigga, that your teenage son or your early 20s son is going to also maybe have the idea that he too should be a real nigga.
Yeah.
And I think that plays in certain areas of the country, but I don't think that plays in $5 million penthouses.
Not at all. For those who not know, Ja Morant and his boys were, I'm guessing, in Indiana, or it might have happened in Memphis. I can't remember. But anyway, got into it with some people who are part of the Pacers organizations, and they decided that they wanted to put lasers on these individuals outside the arena. Y'all know what that insinuates. We ain't even got to do that to Ja.
And even if it's a laser pointer, and this is the thing,
and
man.
that's what they're trying to say it was.
Yeah, of course. That's the first place that anybody would go to cover
Absolutely.
their tracks, right? But this is the thing. This idea that we have to be hard, like 24/7, 365, is an idea that we need to kill in our community because it's killing us.
Facts.
If they do that to the wrong individual, right?
You don't make it out of there.
You don't make it out of there, right? Because that's what you just did. You know what I'm saying? So you're flashing the beam. Someone just so happened to have they AR-15 with a 100-round clip in their front seat, and you start flashing. They hop out, and then they lay into you. Y'all are done for, right? Because you're trying to prove a point.
So Shannon made a video a couple days ago, and I'm gonna be fair. The video ain't necessarily been received. I've been seeing mixed stuff, and I'm going to get back to First Take in a little bit so I can talk about this. Hold on. Let me play this video. Let's do this.
That's hurt me, and I just gotta love my shit. I wish Ja would realize that he's not a thug. Ja is a really good basketball player. Ja did everything he could to lift himself and his family out of this type of environment and to get away from this. And for some reason, he wants to surround himself with these type of people. Why? Bruh, you not hard. That's not your life. People that in that life would give anything to be in your life. For some reason, you got a $200 million contract, and you want people in the NBA to think you hood, to think you gangster. Because you roll with these type of people, bro, you putting yourself in harm's way when you don't have to. Nobody looks at you, John, and think, man, that's a thug. He hood. He down. He about that. You not.
So yesterday I'm in this group chat arguing when I should be laid up next to my wife, because there's this conversation of people's clowning Shannon in this group. I told y'all some ignorant takes in here. Because the comment was, wait, so if I'm worth $80 or $200 million, I'm not hood? And the funny part about me was I'm reading that and I go, you're 100% correct.
Yes.
If you're in the not even the 1%, bro, you're in a special class.
You're in like the half. You're not even the 0.5%. Like, I mean, once you get like past 25, 30 million, man, you're moving into like wealth.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, you're not rich anymore. You're moving into wealth. You're moving into generational wealth. And Ja is making it to the point. How much being real is costing you off the court, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Another $10 million in endorsements.
Mm-hmm.
If you did that $10 million over, your 10-year career, if you miss $100 million in endorsements, was flashing that laser beam, your boy flashing that laser beam, right? Like, would you spare your boy for $100 million? You know, we think because we don't see it that it never existed. And the truth of the matter is, that money is still there, bro. It's just in the future. And it's something that we got to understand, again, as black men. It's a saying, and it goes, strong men rule weak men. But intelligent men rule strong men, right? And we keep wanting to be hard, right? We keep wanting to be like, yo, I'm the baddest. I got the biggest stick in the room, right?
Yeah.
But the man that writes the check, right?
Yeah.
That's the man that's actually the gangster.
Absolutely.
The guy who owned the Memphis Grizzlies.
The young boy.
Yeah.
He's young as shit.
He's the gangster, right? Like, the rest of y'all aren't gangster. The rest of y'all are employees to the gangster.
Bruh. You know, what made me laugh was I'm in this group chat and everybody's, we having that conversation. I said, sad part is, if it goes to your point, but I told these guys last night, I said, yo, in a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years, if this thug shit gets Josh shot, killed, we all gonna be on Facebook, RP, why you still in the hood? Why you hanging around these individuals? Why you doing this? And then
not all of us, not myself, because once you separate yourself, like, there has to be a separation.
Yeah, it does.
It's a reason why, planes don't fly at 10,000 feet, right? They elevate themselves to get to better air, to clear air. It's colder up there.
Absolutely. But, and then I start looking at it, because now I'm starting to have an argument with cats on, wait, so if I'm hood, you telling me, because I told people, I said, yo, it ain't nothing hood about Sumter. Sorry, it's the country, it's the sticks, and I understand Sumter, y'all want to look. And the thing is about, for me, is we got to stop seeing beauty in black male association with being thugs, right?
Exactly.
And so, and I was telling these dudes, I said, it ain't nothing hood or thug about being in college. Like, it's not. And then I'm at this point where I'm arguing with grown-ass men about if thugs go to college.
Why do you want to be a thug? So, all right. So I came from a very rural area. When I went to school, I was not prepared for school. There's things that I thought you could do in everyday life that I get to college and I start realizing that these things will get you locked up really, really fast.
Absolutely.
Right? So, but one of the first things that I recognized, like, the moment I got to college, probably my first 2 weeks, right? It was, there are no thugs here, right? And that had to include me. It had to include me coming from a small country town where things like to pop off. And again, I was not a bad guy in my town. But you know what I'm saying? But, I wasn't a punk, right? But I get to college and I realize, like, yo, I'm out of whack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to have to figure out how to acclimate myself here, because this is not the environment for those types of behaviors.
Absolutely.
I don't know why. I don't know. I do know why. That's why we got this podcast called the Black Dads Club. But it's like, when we grow up without male leadership, right, we fall into this ideal of hypermasculinity, right? And that's where thuggism falls at, right? It's this idea of hypermasculinity. And I think we look at hypermasculinity, we always think that it's the macho-ness, right? It's actually, the whole term hypermasculinity came from, it was during the 50s, I forget the guy's name, but he was studying black males that were growing up without fathers. And what he noticed was that these young males were picking up the behaviors of their mothers. And that's where he created the term hypermasculinity. It was never meant to be a macho term. It was meant to be a term that says that boys are picking up the behaviors of the women that they're around constantly. So when we don't really think of that now, because I think that if we thought of hypermasculinity in the manner that it was intended to be, I think a lot of us would say, well, yeah, like, I shouldn't pick up those types of behaviors. I should probably pick up more masculine behaviors. But this ideal, to your point, this ideal of Ja, and I think some of the problem is Ja dad running up on dudes, right? Because he didn't just run up on Shannon, right?
Yeah.
We know that didn't start there. This is something that is constantly seen, is being okayed, and to fix the problem, in all honesty, I think if his father scaled it back, I think if his father became more meek, more vulnerable, I think that his son would do the same.
Well, his dad wanted to be a star.
Well, yeah, he's definitely living vicariously through his son.
Now, I'm going to put it like this. For me, I grew up in Huntersville, white side of town, three black families in my whole neighborhood, right? I went to finish school. Everybody knows this. Finished school at a private Christian school where I was only black boy. Cool, great. Did not grow up hood, did not grow up as a thug, did not grow up in anything. I got to college and recognized very easily because, mind you, my job was in the city. I worked off Sunset, and it was hood shit. It was thugs there.
Yeah.
Right? But by the time I got to college, I knew it wasn't no thugs. You know how I knew? Because when the thugs came on campus, they made sure that you knew none of us is here. So nothing is funnier than when you at a HBCU, even though I didn't go to one, but I was there partying at one. You going through a homecoming, and then you see the thugs come on campus. And they let you know that, yo, we here, and the girls know that they there. And the dudes who think they tough on campus, they get real quiet. They get real, they fall in line real quick. I knew a lot of people wasn't thugs because I saw who was punking you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was the registrar's office. It was the people who's giving you your loan.
Yeah.
It was the people when you had your meal ticket and they said, nah, you ain't getting nothing else to eat today. You know what I'm saying? It was the people when you needed to get that class. It was that advisor who told you, like, nah, you're not doing that. So I saw the real thugs on campus. So when I see this obsession, it kind of just bothers me because, one, I hate the lie that we keep spreading. And we get this thing of a couple of dudes who come from tougher environments, we automatically assume they thugs, and it's not the case. A thug don't care. And, you know, that was the other joke I was telling one of the guys yesterday. I said, yo, I couldn't imagine in campus and seeing a thug go to class at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and then not only that,
they ain't got time for that shit.
There's no benefit to really being a thug.
None at all.
There's no benefit to it. So this idea, now I know that this is part of the music, right? So, you know, the music gives us this ideal of how we should perform as men. But again, I think that's from the lack of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I won't put that wholly on fathers. I mean, when you murder 20, 30 black leaders between the 50s and 70s, and that's that. I mean, I'm talking about known. I'm not even talking about the individuals that we didn't know, right? Mm-hmm. Then you're going to have, you know, a fatherless generation of individuals being raised by nothing but their mothers
or the streets.
Yeah, or the streets, right? Who not only, you know, may not be raising them because they're tired, but also you got to understand you're raising them to not be murdered as well. Mm-hmm. You know, so when the streets do it, well, you know, I guess it might be a relief to you can make it from the streets, but you're not going to make it from the state. So, you know, the streets raising you, well, that's probably better than you being a target of counterinsurgency by the federal government.
Absolutely.
So I get it. But we do also have to recognize where we are today, that we're missing something. We're missing these ideals and these tenets of masculinity. And that's why I think that thug life is way more appealing, because what's cool about being intelligent? Right? Like even if you are an intelligent black male, there's so many landmines and moats to prevent you from even using your intelligence to go and gain wealth. Right? So there's nothing tangible for the ideal of a super intelligent black man. Like, give me a super intelligent black man that owns a tech company, right? Give me a super intelligent black man that owns distribution, you know, label for music.
Well, that part, and then when you do get somebody like Byron Allen who owns a lot of shit, we keep him quiet.
Well, I think the system keeps him quiet, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like we don't even see anything advantageous of being intelligent, whereas being a thug, we see that every day, right? We see NBA YoungBoy every day. We see, I don't know, I don't even know who these artists are anymore.
He don't. And he is not lying, because I be telling Mike about these young boys. He goes, okay.
Like, I be like, is he famous? Like,
and I'm like,
Gabby be like, he got the most streams ever on YouTube.
Look,
like,
I told Mike who NBA YoungBoy was last week, and he literally wrote me back, okay, is he famous or not? And I go, NBA YoungBoy didn't drop an album last year. He outsold Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny. Mike go, oh shit. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's how famous this guy is. You know what? Before we go to the last thing out of here, nothing's funnier than in the music industry, the hood dudes join and they let you know that, yo, this is entertainment purpose.
Yes.
And that always drew my eye. Nothing was funnier than I watched an interview with The Game one time, and he said he went up to Hot 97 and was shooting at 50 Cent's Homeboys. He said it wasn't till my homeboy was dead and everything went left later that I realized 50 Cent was doing everything for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
And he said, now I get it. And he said, I wish I understood it then, because when 50 was doing shit, I just would have been like, okay, and kept it moving to the left, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I didn't know that. And he said, it was interesting to hear these conversations, especially when these young kids get in there, these thugs, whether they from Chicago, whether they from New Orleans, no matter, or they from Florida, they start getting in this industry. And honestly, let's keep it real, they end up dying.
Well, I mean, let's go back to, I think, the episode last year, like, who benefits from black male trauma, right? Like, to someone that's benefiting from it, and us coming on here saying that, like, all right, this is stupid, right? This is, two older black men, two older white-collar black men, two older white-collar college-educated black men, right? We're able to come on here and say, like,
we graduated the same year, y'all.
Yeah.
We actually did.
We're able to come on here and be like, all right, guys, cut that shit out, right?
Yeah.
But you kind of need to hear it from, individuals that are in the street. Like, I'm not going to go out there and just be like, hey, here are all the things that I did and how you should try to do better. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. But the guys in the streets, most of them are stuck there, right? They're not there because they want to be. So when you see somebody that's like Ja Morant to go there and it's like, yo, we want to flash beams, like,
bruh,
I don't have any sympathy for you for what comes next.
I can't because, bruh, Ja Morant has the ability, bro, he wins a couple more awards, bro. He has that ability as of right now to retire as the most, the richest, wealthiest NBA player from NBA contracts, right? Like, Giannis is going to probably go off that because the super max he keeps getting, right? But Ja Morant can literally say, if anything, I can retire with $600 million
he
in
can
contract
easily
money.
make $100,
but you rather go
$500 million, but
you got lasers.
Yeah, you got your boy out there with like y'all grow up, man.
Grow up.
Before
we get up out of here, and we ain't got to harp on this long. The Memphis police officers have been fired. We haven't talked about this. It's one of those things that me and you talked about in the group chat. I watched some of the video.
Yeah.
I didn't watch them actually kicking him. I watched some of the video. I skimmed through it, honestly, to be completely honest.
I didn't watch it at all, man. I'm done participating in the ritualistic sacrifice of black male lives. Because that's what it is now, right? Like, we don't see this from anybody else, right? Like, I mean, white people get beat to death by the cops or friends too. It happened to Hispanic people too. We don't even see cartel deaths on Twitter.
Nah.
Think about that. We don't even see that, right?
You gotta go deep on Reddit to find that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you can't, and it's taken down almost immediately, right? But when it comes to black death, that shit just floats around like it's clouds.
Yo, you get the police officer, the police chief giving you hey, it's coming. You got 48 hours and we're gonna drop this shit.
You're being prepped for it, and it's like, I mean, at some point, as black men, I think we gotta follow the words of Abraham. You know what he was told, man. Come out from amongst your kindreds and acquaintances and go to a land and I'll show you. You are not going to be blessed in this area right here. Like, you're just not. Like, if we don't see nobody else deaths online, but we always see our deaths online, if the whole, this is the crazy part, right? The Blue Lives Matter crowd isn't even out, right?
Yeah, they're not.
Like they literally want you to rip your black men apart, despite the fact that blacks have clearly said that your uniform is a delineation between you and you being black.
Damn.
Right? And it's like, we can't fight everything from everybody, right? At some point, you have to come out. Because here's the thing. If you grow a rose in the middle of weeds and you fertilize that rose, you're also going to fertilize those weeds. So no matter how much that rose grow, those weeds going to grow just as much. That's where we are as black men in this country right now, is that, yes, you are powerful, you are beautiful, you do have value, but your environment is so toxic that there's really no way for the universe to bless you without also growing everything around you that's terrible. And I hope that's just something for us to think about. I'm saddened that, a brother, lost his life to other brothers, and I get it. Tyree was problematic, but which of us isn't problematic, right? Like we don't have a Jesus to sacrifice for everybody to start acting right. Like, so this idea that someone had to be blameless. Again, this is the idea, and this is going to be next week's topic. It was going to be this week's. It won't even be Sundays. It's going to have to be after that, because I want us to discuss that black men are the whipping boy of this country. So we can kind of get an ideal understanding of what this country uses us for and how this country treats us. So if anybody don't remember the story of the whipping boy, we'll go into that. That won't be Sunday. That'll be afterwards.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
Look, thank you for coming through today, man.
Oh, man, thanks for having me, man.
He said, thanks for having me. This is his podcast. Talking about some
Thanks for having me.
Look, hey, we're going to say this again. I'm going to say it again. Sunday, 1 p.m., join us. Facebook Live. We definitely gonna be on Facebook Live.
We're gonna be everywhere, man.
We're gonna be everywhere.
And we'll probably be a lot funnier than we were today. This is kind of
somber. We had to hop on Jai ass and cuss his ass out because we can't afford to lose you.
No, I mean we hurt to lose Ja.
Gotta
right?
get him out of Memphis.
Yeah, so yeah, we definitely gotta get him out of Memphis. Send him to Miami.
Send him to Miami or somewhere boring like Oklahoma somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta save our brother life, man. Our fellow South Carolinian, like, come on, man, like, chill out, y'all.
Absolutely. Look, and we're gonna holler at y'all next time.
Holler at your boy.